Alright, so today we are going to be tackling a subject I've heard a lot of questions about, which is definitely difficult. So this is my first run I recorded here, which definitely needs some revision. So ideally use way more soap and water than I used, because it did work. I'll give that feedback, but really you have to use a lot of soap and water to get that sticky residue off. So generally I just popped everything apart, like every single joint possible, and faceplate and dropped everything in there, and this helped greatly reduce stickiness on the figures and also just get off any of that dust that like literally got glued to them because they're so tacky. Now, before you start this is a space hog project, so you do need to have at least some kind of space that can stay put. So yeah, this here, I'm literally just using a normal wire mesh strainer that like you would use for food, but I put my figure parts in it to get the soapy residue off. This definitely helped to get rid of any leftover soapy residue and just take it right off. The first time around, like after washing them a bit and letting them soak for only like 4 hours, I went ahead and put them on the towel like I'm putting the stuff on now. However, that's not really ideal. Really what you want to do is you want to get a nice soapy bucket like how it is now, and with all of your figure parts, and let that bucket soak for days. Now that's a little bit scary with figures because water can get in crevices, and in theory, like if you don't let them dry before putting everything together again, can get mold and stuff. So really just after letting your figures soak in your soapy solution for days on end, you need to just literally let them lay out, like don't put anything together for days, because if you put them ahead of time together, you're just gonna have some sad figures. Now do keep an eye on these figures. I also, the several days, changed the water, so I dumped it out, rinsed them out, put fresh water, fresh soap, and start the soaking process again too, which I do need to do another batch because there's certain parts on Miku, Orimo, and the blonde girl that are still a little bit sticky, but overall that fixed their biggest problems. Now Kirimo, I didn't put certain parts in there because if you have any Nendoroids with parts that have like stickers that get put on them, it's going to destroy the stickers, so just keep it out of that. And honestly, I don't think you need to dunk any of that anyways, but yeah, parts with stickers, just keep out of that because you're gonna ruin that figure part. It's definitely not ideal, but Dawn dish soap definitely works the best, like for sure. You could try cheaper soaps, but I think really with something like this, like don't cheap out on it, like just go for it, and kind of keep at it, because there's not going to be any real ideal solution for all figures because of the different ages and paints that they use, and it varies by companies greatly. So like any kind of scale things, I have like the Capo swimsuit figure here. I need to do a soaking process for her, but she's gonna probably look a little bit different because I can't quite be as, I guess, let's put it, aggressive with swishing her around because she could break, because she has more delicate parts than the Nendoroids are pretty rugged in that respect, so you don't have to worry about anything breaking off of them as long as you're still careful. Like aggressive carefulness, if that makes sense, is what you want with this project, because you still want to clean things up nicely, but don't be so rough that like if your Nendoroid has a fragile piece, it's just going to snap right off of them, because that doesn't get you anywhere then. And for the drying process, I left my figures out on the towel for days, and that seemed to work. I think you can use a hair dryer on them too, but you either are going to need to set it on cold air and have the air blowing on them, or use like a fan. And don't use like super hot air like constantly on them, because you're going to warp stuff. Especially the old Nendoroids are not going to be happy with that. Now you can use the hairdryer method to like warp the plastic a little bit for like getting certain parts to fit better, but like don't keep that as a constant on them, because that's just going to damage your figure. And the reason why I chose to use a wire mesh food strainer is because these Nendoroids have a lot of tiny little parts, and I was worried about them falling through like the normal holes on a strainer and going down the drain. So with using a wire strainer, you avoid the problem of just losing your parts down the drain. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully that was helpful in some way. It was a little bit quick, but hopefully this gives you a good start to your Nendoroids becoming unsticky. And I will be reporting back about the bigger figures, and I will run more tests too on Nendoroids on maybe some different methods, because I've picked up 2 Nendoroids that need to go through this process. So let me know in the comments if there's any other things you want me to test out or have questions about, like if they work, and I can hopefully answer those for you next time. So thank you so much for watching.